When we first started full-timing about a month ago, we booked about 3 months out of just Florida State campgrounds, or almost exclusively Florida State campgrounds. Well, Florida State campgrounds are closed from March 15th now to May 15th, right?
Yes.
So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the options we looked at for us to live over the next couple of months while this situation is resolved.
Hey everyone, glad to see you coming back. But if you are new friends, I'm Alice.
And I'm Larry.
And we're Downsizing Makes Sense like the penny. And we are full-timers and going through this trying time in Florida right now.
So right now we are living anywhere between Orlando and Jacksonville. I'm still working full-time, and I actually have a job where I actually be present in hospitals between Jacksonville and Orlando. So that kind of really limits us on our situation and where we can stay. So the Florida State campgrounds worked out great because there's lots of Florida State campgrounds between Orlando and Jacksonville, and that's why it was a perfect situation for us when we first started full-timing. Then when we got notification that the state campgrounds were going to close, then we really started to scramble. We were actually at Hanna Park, which is a city park up in Jacksonville. The day we were leaving, they told us with 1 day notice, they were closing the entire campground. 300 sites were closing. Yes. And that's when at that point, the Florida State campgrounds had not closed yet.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, if they're closing, then the state campgrounds are going to be closing soon. And that's when we really started to scramble. We were on our way to Salt Springs for 2 nights.
Okay. 1, Boondockers Welcome. I looked at Boondockers Welcome on the map. It's Central Florida. Frankly, there aren't that many there. And they're normally only for a couple nights. And of course, we don't want to travel a lot. We want to stay in one place and hunker down. And we're not able to do that. But it didn't work for us, even though I did see messages on social media that a lot of the hosts on Boondockers Welcome are letting you stay more than 1 or 2 nights. So you can check that out. Number 2, Harvest Hosts. Now these are businesses that, again, it's usually for 1 or 2 nights. And again, I looked at Harvest Hosts, not many in our area. And one of them even wouldn't let you stay on the weekends. And again, that's great for transit, but we are trying to stay put, in one place. If we were on our way out of the state, home to maybe another state, that could be a choice. But Harvest Hosts just didn't work for us. Number 4, Rvillage. Because we are members of Rvillage, I received an email notification, and I went to the link, and I saw that there's a very unique situation right now just north of Live Oak, Florida. It's called Spirit of the Suwanee Music Park. They had a festival planned, but they had to cancel because of the virus. But they have over 600 sites, I read, and hookups, and some primitive, like 800 acres. And it seems amazing, but unfortunately for us, because of our unique situation, it was not in our travel zone for Larry's work. But check it out because it might work for you. Number 5, RECREATION.GOV. Now, the areas that I looked at were in the Ocala National Forest because, again, that's in our unique zone. But Salt Springs was the one that I booked 2 days reservation. That's all I could get. And I picked Salt Springs because it had full hookup.
Yeah, when we left Hanna Park, we had the 2 days coming into Salt Springs. It was kind of just a stopover on the way where we were actually on our way to 1,000 Trails. Now, when we got to Salt Springs, we thought, well, it'd be good if we could extend as much as we could at Salt Springs, and that way kind of save our 1,000 Trails. But what happened at Salt Springs when we came in and registered, they said they didn't know whether or not they were going to be closing. So they actually did have some spots available on a first-come, first-served basis only. So after we were there for 2 days, we had to get up at the registration at 9 o'clock in the morning and then see if we could pick up a first-come, first-served spot, which we did. But they would only let us book 2 days at a time. We had to come back every 2 days and by 2 more days. And the reason they did this is because they didn't want us buying a week or 2 weeks in advance and then having to refund us, because they still didn't know whether or not they were going to close.
The other thing about Salt Springs is it was a bit stressful, because when you do that first come, first serve, they don't immediately say, oh, okay, you're here, you get a spot. You put your name on a list, and then they call you and let you know if you can stay.
I had to show up at 7:30. Now, I thought I was going to be the first guy there at 7:30,
Yeah.
but I got beat up by another guy who was a really awesome dude.
Yeah.
But we both ended up picking up first come, first serve spots.
Yes.
But that is stressful. Half the spots they have there at Salt Springs that are full hookups are full first come, first serve.
Yes.
But the big problem, the reason we didn't stay at Salt Springs and continue doing that, was because of cell phone service. We didn't mention it earlier, but cell phone service and connectivity is really important to us right now, especially with all this going on. We have 2 sons that live in the state. We have one that lives in Orlando. We have one that lives in Gainesville. And it was really important to us to be able to be in communication with them at all times. They're both going through a lot of stuff right now, and it was really hard to communicate with them. And the reason we left Salt Springs and went to our 1,000 Trails is because we couldn't take the chance of not being in communication with them. I went and bought a booster. I went and bought the RV booster, the Wii booster, with the 25-foot pole and the antennas. I tried everything.
And it wasn't just us. Everyone was like, are you getting service? Are you getting service?
Yeah, it's just, Salt Springs just has terrible service. And I did everything I could to try to get service at Salt Springs.
Yeah.
But it was best just to move on to 1,000 Trails and get our 2 weeks in there.
Well, one of the reasons why we need to be in communication with our kids, besides the obvious, is my younger son is a student at UF living in the dorms. And they, at this point, requested students to leave on their own. So my son, all his roommates left. He's there alone, which again is not the biggest deal. But other universities in Florida are saying you must leave by a certain date. And we need to know, because he's going to be homeless. But luckily our older son is trying, and again, this is difficult because he's trying to find an apartment now in Gainesville, so that my son has a place to live if UF does officially tell everyone to leave. So yes, it's important that we know what's going on with our kids.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on. Unfortunately, our younger son, living with us in the RV is not really an option. He will do it for 1 or 2 nights, but that's about all he can tolerate living in the RV with him with us, and I totally understand that. So we're here at 1,000 Trails right now, and has awesome internet connectivity, and we never realized how important that was going to be to us.
Yes.
Especially during a crisis like this, where you just can't be out of communication.
Okay, so which leads us into number 6, 1,000 Trails. Now explain our unique, because not everyone has the same package.
Right, so we have the 1,000 Trails camping pass. It's just the regular camping pass that you get. I think it was about $600, and then we got the Trails collection on top of that, which is about $200. So it was like $800 for the year. We only have one zone, which is the Southeast Zone, because we knew that primarily in that first year we're going to be in Florida.
And we thought we were mainly staying at Florida State Park.
Right. The 1,000 Trails was kind of just for the gaps that we couldn't get at the Florida State Parks.
Yeah.
And some of the Florida State Parks don't have full hookups. Yeah. So it would be nice to go and get full hookups for a week or two at 1,000 Trails and things like that.
Yeah.
But the problem with our 1,000 Trails membership is that we can be in for 14 days, and we have to be completely out of the system. Whether it's at 1,000 Trails Park or an Encore Park, we have to be completely out of the system for 7 days.
Now, this changed recently in January.
Now, when we signed up, we had watched a bunch of other videos and stuff, and we were under the impression that you could go from 14 days at 1,000 Trails and then go directly to an Encore and then do 14 days at an Encore and then go back to 1,000 Trails. Well, as of the beginning of 2020, you can't do that. You have to have 7 days completely out of the system. So while we were at 1,000 Trails, we actually really like where we are. We're at the Clearbrook Golf and RV Resort in 1,000 Trails in Claremont, Florida.
Yep.
And it's great. So I thought the idea was like, how about we just
Hunker down. Yeah.
Hunker down and pay. So we have our 14 days of 1,000 trails. Why don't we just pay for the 7 days that we're supposed to be, you know, out of the 1,000 trail system,
which is very costly.
And then you know, come back in and book again for under the 1,000 trail system.
Yeah.
Well, according to the people at the office here, that is not allowed. That's called bridging, and bridging is not allowed within the 1,000 trail system. And the other thing is it was expensive. For a week here at Clearbrook Golf and Country Club, in the exact spot that we're getting for free, was $335 for the week.
Yeah.
Which, you know, one of the other options is going to be private campgrounds.
Yes.
And some of the private campgrounds are cheaper than that. But that would have kept us from having to move.
Yes.
And just kind of like really sit still for the 2 months or so while this all resolves.
Yes.
But because of the bridging, you know, not allowing bridging, you know, we can't do that. So we are going to be moving somewhere in about, what have we got, 12 days now before we have to move again. And we still don't have a spot yet.
We don't have a reservation.
And that's what this whole video is about,
Yeah.
you know, looking for the next spot,
So-
which is probably going to be...
Wait. Well, I wanted to say resource seven is Campendium. So we are looking at other private campgrounds because you can see reviews, see pictures, and you can see on the map, and that's what I did. I looked on the map to see what is in, again, our little area, because we're kind of stuck in Central Florida. And it looks like our best option is that one that I learned, hipcamp.com, which, I don't
You
remember
skipped
talking
HipCamp.
about it. I skipped hipcamp.com. I'm sorry. So hipcamp.com, and that was exploring the local life, which actually it's great that I ended with this. Exploring the local life. I told me about it. It was either on Twitter or Instagram, and thank you very much. It looks like a great resource. You can see again what's in your area. I looked. There are several places that are in the area. I was able to see that a lot of them have hookups. And without even joining anything, I was able to message each one of those places and ask them questions like, how is your internet there? What kind of hookups do you have? And things like that. And out of the 3 that I contacted, 2 of them did get back to me right away. So it looks like that's probably what we're going to do is go, and they are also, you know, private campgrounds, but more reasonably priced, it seems. So it looks like for our week that we have to be out 1,000 trails, we're probably going to hook up with one of those places at hipcamp.com. This is just what we're going through right now, and we're going to put links to all of these resources in the description. And we really just wanted to, you know, for one, let everyone that's been following us, let you know what's going on, because people have asked, because they know Florida is pretty much shutting down. So if you have questions about any of these resources, please leave a comment below, or you can also message me on Instagram, because that's, you know, that's how I have been communicating with a lot of people.
And if you guys are full-timers and have found different ways to kind of ride out the storm here, please leave a comment and share it with us.
Yeah.
And share it with the other people that
Yeah.
are leaving comments. I mean, everybody is in a unique situation. Ours is definitely kind of unique compared to most people. You know?
And also unique is because in our area, there's not a whole lot of boondocking around here. A lot of people are like, just go, but the water management areas in Florida where some people do boondock, a lot of those have been shut down as well. I forgot to mention. So thanks, and remember, still, downsizing does make sense.
I think.
Maybe.